I think Daniel Dubois is now coming to a different stage in his career, where he's understanding now of what needs to be done and what's at stake. I think he's shown that he can overcome difficult times and fight.
Tony Bellew has heard enough of the low-blow sob stories. The former cruiserweight world champion isn't pulling any punches when it comes to setting the record straight on the first fight between Oleksandr Usyk and Daniel Dubois. In Bellew's eyes, the result was definitive. Usyk beat Dubois fair and square. No controversy, no asterisks, no excuses. The idea that...
It's a completely different skill set than Oleksandr Usyk. You got to remember he's been in there with him already, and we all know what happened last time.
Yes, true.
I don't want to hear this stuff about low blows. It's called a protector for a reason. If you hit a protector...
Dubois was robbed, as in Bellew's words, laughable. Usyk's victory wasn't the result of dirty tactics or referee error. It was clean, clinical, and brutally efficient. Bellew isn't interested in revisionist history. Dubois wasn't cheated, he was simply outclassed, end of story. But while Bellew speaks with certainty, Peter Fury, the man now guiding Dubois, sounds far less convinced.
Best friends?
I love you, man.
They're buddies? Like they were family friends? I mean, can you imagine Muhammad Ali or like Joe Frazier having dinner together? What? Can you imagine?
Listening to Fury, it's clear he's caught between hope and hard truths. On one hand, he wants to back his fighter and believe in the growth Dubois has made since the first bout. On the other, he knows the mountain in front of them hasn't shrunk. Deep down, Fury recognises the reality. Usyk isn't just skilled, he's a master of the craft, a technician, a magician. Against heavy hitters like Dubois, Usyk doesn't run, he dances, he dissects, he dominates. This isn't just an opponent you outlast, it's a puzzle you try to survive, if you're lucky. Over in Usyk's camp, his manager Egis Klimas isn't exactly playing it quiet either. Klimas has already started talking like the UK is Usyk's second home, and frankly, he's not wrong. Usyk's popularity in the UK speaks volumes. Fans there appreciate...
Shot in that fight. It's a good time. I mean, a little bit of inactivity because of the fight falling through against Josie Parker, but, you know, it's exciting. And I think...
Appreciate real warriors, fighters who travel to foreign soil, take on the best, and never make excuses. That's exactly what Usyk has done time and again. He's earned the respect of audiences across borders. So if the rematch happens in Britain, it won't be neutral ground. It'll be yet another venue where Usyk has fans in his corner, because he's earned them. Meanwhile, Dubois continues to battle not just his opponents, but a lingering reputation, that of a quitter. It's a shadow that has followed him since his loss to Joe Joyce, and resurfaced after his collapse against Usyk. Yes, Dubois has rallied support from many corners of the UK. He's saying the right things, training harder, looking sharper, but let's not kid ourselves. Perception matters, and when it comes to pressure, scrutiny and expectation, this rematch won't be any easier. Stepping in with his usual dip...
Heavyweight being the champion of the world now, and he's on his way up, where Usyk is in his 37 is in a top position now. Yeah, so there is no other...
Diplomatic polish is Eddie Hearn. The matchroom boss isn't one to stir the pot unnecessarily, but even he can't hide where he stands. Publicly, Hearn keeps it neutral. He talks about punchers' chances and exciting fights, but read between the lines, and it's clear he knows what's really going on. He knows boxing isn't fought on paper. He knows Usyk's inactivity might be a minor factor, but class doesn't rust, and Usyk isn't just a class fighter. He's elite. Front of power punchers and didn't flinch. Dubois, despite his physical tools and training, is still the fighter who froze under the lights the first time. Yes, the rematch could be thrilling, but thrilling doesn't always mean competitive. And when it comes to experience, skill and composure, Hearn knows who the real favourite is.
Good fighter. He's a hard fighter to beat. And I think he'll learn from the mistakes he made in the first fight against Usyk, and it will give him a hard fight. Look, he has the...
Then there's Alex Krasiuk, Usyk's longtime promoter, who isn't sugarcoating anything either. In a recent statement, Kresiuk laid out the brutal truth that many insiders whisper but rarely say aloud. Dubois may be young, yes, but youth doesn't count for much when you've already been broken at the top level. What's the point of having potential if you crumble under real pressure? Usyk at 37 is sharper than ever. He's climbed every mountain boxing has to offer, undisputed cruiserweight champion, unified heavyweight champion, and conqueror of Anthony Joshua twice. He's mentally dismantled every challenger who thought they had the answer. Dubois, by contrast, is still figuring out how to tread water. Usyk, meanwhile, is surfing through elite.
But he's definitely the man that can go through with it. He's done the work, he's gone through the pedigree, and he's a certified champion. So, I think he has big hopes on doing it.
Competition. This rematch won't be about age. It will be about levels. And right now, the gap between them isn't physical. It's psychological, tactical, and spiritual. For Dubois, there's no elevator to Usyk's level. There are only hard rounds and harder lessons. If he tries to skip steps, punishment awaits. Still, not everyone is writing Dubois off just yet. Enter Amir Khan. The former light welterweight king still believes there's something in Dubois. He sees promise, he sees power. He's called Dubois a beast. But the question is, against whom? Mid-tier opposition, heavy bags, because when it counted, when the man standing across from him was Usyk, Dubois
back in December and beat him. I reign all the belts I should never have lost. And then I thought
didn't just lose, he folded, fast. Yes, maybe Dubois picked up some lessons that night, but what did he actually learn? How to throw a better jab, how to quit with more dignity next time. Lessons only matter if you have the mind and the heart to apply them when it counts. And let's be clear, Usyk hasn't stayed static. He's better now, smarter, hungrier, still the most dangerous man in the division, not because of brute strength, but because he sees what others miss and exploits what others ignore. If Dubois is coming for redemption, he better bring more than heart. He'll need clarity, he'll need perfection, because anything less, and he's walking back into another calculated, merciless storm. While Daniel Dubois has been rehearsing confidence for the cameras,
individual because he's older and wiser, comes from a completely different background, but Daniel Dubois is growing into himself. This will be one hell of a fight. This will be a proper.
Oleksandr Usyk has been moving 4 steps ahead, mentally breaking him down before the first bell even rings. Sure, Dubois has physical tools, but tools in the wrong hands are useless. Amir Khan may be holding out hope for a miracle, but Usyk doesn't. When Lewis gives his nod of approval, it means something. And Usyk, he's done everything right. Lennox knows what it takes to conquer across weight divisions. He respects fighters who face challenges head-on, who don't whine about low blows or search for excuses. Usyk is that kind of champion, undeniable, relentless, and composed. Lennox sees Usyk as a man who breaks his opponents mentally before they even know it's happening. Dubois, for all his size and strength, doesn't radiate greatness. He radiates doubt. That's what Lennox sees.
Dubois now is a different machine.
Self-confidence will be...
And time waits for no man, as the saying goes. I just think that this is a fight it's exciting. It's a good fight. You've got to make Usyk the favourite, but it's a fight that Daniel Dubois can definitely win.
Yes.
I don't think.
Usyk, on the other hand, has the pedigree, the polish, and the proven resume. That's why Lewis doesn't view this rematch as a question of if, but when. And if Lennox Lewis was direct, Tyson Fury is downright dismissive. Fury has already mentally moved past Dubois. For him, the future of the division involves Usyk, not Dubois. He sees Dubois as little more than a pit stop on the road to legacy. And then I'll take that off him too, Fury says, brushing aside Dubois like a minor task. That attitude tells you everything about how the heavyweight elite views Dubois. As a footnote, not a threat. And they may not be wrong. Usyk already humbled Dubois once. The idea that Dubois will suddenly evolve into an unstoppable force feels more like fantasy than fact. This isn't anime. There are no sudden power-ups. Usyk's dominance isn't myth or hype. It's earned.
Oleksandr Usyk is the best fighter in boxing, period. Of this generation, what he's done at cruiserweight, what he's done at heavyweight, what he's done to all the other British fighters, to do the double over age.
Built through experience, iron will, and world-class preparation. Even Simon Jordan, approaching the situation from a business and image perspective, sees the imbalance. Jordan is known for cutting through noise, and when he puts Usyk and Dubois side by side, the contrast is sharp. He tries to be fair, but even his framing speaks volumes. Usyk is described as mature, wise, and polished, a class act. Dubois, he's still growing, still a work in progress. That's the real gap. One is a complete fighter. The other is a fighter still under construction. And when someone like Dubois steps into the ring with someone like Usyk, the flaws don't just appear, they get ruthlessly exposed. Usyk doesn't need to brawl to win. He makes you miss.
I think so. I think I've shown that in my last 3 fights that I'm totally different. I'm more confident, believe myself more and whatever. But yeah.
He makes you panic. Then he makes you quit. This is the same man who dismantled Anthony Joshua's confidence over 24 rounds. What do we really expect him to do to Dubois, who already folded once under similar pressure? Yes, the fight will be compelling, because Usyk makes every fight compelling. He turns routine defenses into artistry. But if Dubois can't find his rhythm early, it's hard to imagine anything other than another surgical dismantling. As always, Carl Froch walks a strange tightrope between honesty and diplomacy. He calls Daniel Dubois a different machine now. But here's the thing. Machines don't